Let me ask you this. When you look in the mirror every single morning, do you see the person you were born as or the person you've chosen to build? Because here's the truth. Life doesn't hand you the identity you want. It hands you pain, fear, and excuses, and only you decide what to do with it. Most people live their entire lives believing they're what they were given. They think their story is already written because of where they came from, how broken they started, or the struggles life threw at them. But I'm here to tell you, you are not your past. You're not your failures. You're not the labels the world slapped on you. You are the result of the choices you make every damn day. Pain will knock on your door whether you like it or not. The question is, will you hide from it or will you choose to stand up and let it forge you into something unbreakable? Fear will always whisper in your ear. The question is, will you let it chain you or will you choose to walk straight into it and crush it? I didn't get here because I was strong. I got here because I refused to accept the weak version of myself. I looked in the mirror and made a decision. This is not who I'm meant to be. And every day after that, I chose to become something better. That's the power you have too. When the world calls you average, you don't have to accept it. When your body says you're done, you don't have to listen. When your mind screams quit, you have a choice to surrender or to push beyond the limits and become something greater. You want to change your life. Stop waiting for permission. Stop blaming the world. Stop saying, I can't. Your life is nothing but a reflection of your choices. Choose discipline. Choose struggle. Choose to fight. And when it hurts so bad you can barely breathe, choose to keep going anyway. Because that's the truth. You are not defined by where you start. You are defined by what you choose to become. Every morning you wake up, there's a moment when you stare at yourself in the mirror and you feel the weight of who you were yesterday pressing down on you. But in that silence, you also feel something else, the possibility to choose who the hell you want to become today. Most people don't realize the power in that moment. They think their identity is carved in stone, written by their parents, their past, their failures. But identity is not fixed, it's fluid, shaped by every decision, every action, every refusal to accept the version of yourself that the world expects. When you decide to stay in bed, you choose comfort. When you decide to run, even when your legs burn, you choose strength when you open your mouth to complain. You choose weakness when you shut up and keep grinding. You choose resilience. Identity is not a mystery, it's the math of your choices. The world tells you that you are your DNA, your upbringing, your environment, but that's only half the truth. The other half is the choice you make to either accept those limitations or break through them every time you choose the harder path. You rewrite who you are. You can choose to be the victim or you can choose to be the warrior. You can choose to believe you were born broken or you can choose to rise from the ashes. Like fire, you are not defined by the starting line, but by the path you carve with every step. Every time you say, I can't, you hand away your identity. You let weakness dictate your story, but every time you whisper, I will, even when it feels impossible, you are building a new identity brick by brick, forged in sweat and refusal to back down. Your identity is not found in the easy days, it's born in the dark hours, when nobody is watching, when quitting is the easier choice, when silence presses on your chest and you decide to keep moving. That choice becomes your character definition. If you want to know who you really are, don't look at your words, look at your choices. Your actions scream louder than anything you claim to be. You can say you're strong, but if your choices are weak, then you've already written your identity in small letters. Identity is earned by standing in the fire, not avoiding it. It's earned by saying no to comfort, no to shortcuts, no to the voice that wants to drag you back to mediocrity. Every time you choose to push forward, you redefine yourself into someone the old you would never recognize. It doesn't matter if yesterday you were lazy, weak, or broken, because today you have a choice to shift that path. You're not stuck, you're not locked in chains. The mirror doesn't hold your destiny, your choices do. When you keep choosing the harder path, people will call you obsessed, crazy, reckless, but obsession builds transformation. Mediocrity builds nothing. While they talk, while they laugh, you're building the identity that will silence them all. You don't need approval for your choices because your identity is not voted on by the crowd. It's carved out by the war you fight inside every morning, every hour, every second. That decision belongs to you and nobody else. You can't hide from this truth. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you are becoming. Discipline is a vote. Pain is a vote. Struggle is a vote. Laziness is also a vote. Weakness is a vote. Every single one counts. At the end of your life, your identity will not be remembered by what you dreamed about, but by what you chose to do again and again. The world will remember the choices you live, not the excuses you make. So when you say, I am who I am, realize that's a lie. You are not who you are. You are what you choose to become. Every damn day, every damn second, Pain is the one teacher most people run from, but pain is also the one doorway that leads to the version of yourself you've been searching for. People think pain is punishment, but in reality, pain is the gateway to strength, clarity, and freedom. When pain hits you, it strips away the lies, the excuses, the comfort zones. Pain doesn't care about your titles, your trophies, your status. Pain humbles you, forces you to meet the real you, the version that's been hiding under layers of fake strength. The body screams, stop. But that's the exact moment you need to step forward, because pain is not the enemy, it's the key. If you keep running from it, you'll always stay trapped in the cage of weakness. But if you step into it, you unlock a door few are willing to open. You don't grow when everything is easy. Growth only comes when you're pushed into the fire, when your lungs burn, when your legs shake, when your heart is begging you to quit. That's when pain opens the door to the next level of you. Pain exposes your weakness, but it also gives you the chance to destroy it. Pain reveals your limits, but also dares you to break them. Pain is not here to crush you. It's here to test you, to see how bad you want the life you say you want. The problem is, most people let pain define them instead of refine them. They feel a sting and they retreat. They hit a wall and they fold. But the ones who understand the truth lean into it. They take every ounce of pain and let it carve them into something unshakable. When you chase comfort, you're chasing weakness. Comfort will never forge you, but pain will sharpen your mind, harden your body, and strengthen your spirit. Comfort is soft, pain is steel. Every scar on your body tells a story. More than that, every scar on your soul tells you that you chose to walk through the fire. Pain doesn't break you, it baptizes you in struggle and gives you a new identity. The people who avoid pain live shallow lives. They may look happy on the outside, but inside, they are prisoners trapped by fear, trapped by weakness, trapped by the avoidance of suffering. The ones who endure pain walk in freedom because they've been to war with themselves. Pain is the bridge between who you are now and who you can become. It doesn't just test your limits, it expands them. The more pain you embrace, the bigger world becomes. The more you fear it, the smaller your life shrinks. Most people beg for life to get easier, but the strongest don't ask for that. They ask to get tougher. They use pain as fuel. They step into it, not because it feels good, but because they know what waits on the other side. It builds patience, it builds endurance, it builds character. It doesn't just change your body, it rewires your mind. Every time you endure suffering, you add another layer of armor that nobody can see, but everyone can feel. Pain will introduce you to yourself. It will show you the parts of you that are fragile, fake, but it will also reveal the parts of you that are resilient, unstoppable, alive. Pain is the most honest reflection you will ever see. You don't have to love pain, but you damn sure need to respect it, because it's the only path to greatness. Nobody becomes unbreakable by running from struggle. They become unbreakable by embracing it and walking through the fire again and again. So when pain shows up, don't curse it. Don't hide from it. Welcome it as the gateway to the version of you that no one thought was possible, including you. Fear will always be there. It doesn't matter who, or it doesn't matter how tough you think you've become. Fear whispers in every ear. Fear waits in every shadow. But here's the truth. Fear itself is not the problem. Surrendering to it is. Fear has one job: to keep you small, to keep you safe, to keep you from stepping into the unknown. It convinces you to stay on the sidelines, to watch life instead of living it. Fear doesn't need to chain your body, it chains your mind. Every excuse you've ever made has fear hiding underneath it. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of pain, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. And the longer you feed, the stronger it grows. But the moment you face it head on, it starts to die. Fear screams louder when you're closest to the edge, when you're about to break a barrier you never touched before. That's when fear unleashes its full voice. But that's also when you know you're moving in the right direction. Because fear never shows up when you're standing still. Fear doesn't vanish, it transforms when you step into it. It stops being a wall and starts becoming a weapon. It's the signal that you're on the path worth walking, the path that will change you, the path that will forge the identity you claim you want. The reality is, most people never see their true potential because they treat fear like a stop sign. They freeze, they fold, they retreat. But the ones who rise treat fear like a green light. They see it and they move faster because they know that fear is proof that growth is waiting. Fear is optional because courage is a choice. You don't have to feel brave to act brave. You don't have to be fearless to move forward. You just have to choose to take that step with fear screaming in your ears. Fear will lie to you. It will tell you that you're not ready, that you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough. But fear doesn't know your will. Fear doesn't know your grind. Fear doesn't know how many times you've been broken and stood back up. Every time you move through fear, you build evidence. Evidence that you are stronger than the voice in your head. Evidence that you are capable of more than you believed. Evidence that fear has no power unless you hand it the keys. Fear is the guard dog of mediocrity. It barks, it snarls, it tries to scare you back into your cage. But the moment you step past it, you realize it has no teeth. It was all noise, all illusion, all in your head. Most people wait for fear to disappear before they take action. They wait for perfect confidence. They wait for certainty. But that day never comes. Fear doesn't leave first, you move first, and fear shrinks. The more you face fear, the weaker it becomes. The first time it feels impossible. The second time it feels hard. The third time it feels normal. By the 10th time, it's nothing but background noise. You train your mind to see it for what it is. Shadow, fear will always exist, but it never has to control you. The choice is always yours. Surrender or step forward, retreat or rise, accept limits or smash them. Every moment of fear is an invitation to decide who the hell you're going to be. You can live a life controlled by fear, or you can live a life defined by courage. One will bury you alive, the other will set you free. The difference isn't fate, it's choice. So remember, fear is real, but fear is optional. What you do with it defines everything about the person you choose to become. Excuses are the language of weakness. Every time you let one slip out of your mouth, you carve a deeper hole into the pit of mediocrity. Excuses are easy, they roll off the tongue like poison. But discipline, that's the antidote. Discipline is the weapon that kills excuses. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they believe the excuses. They say they're too tired, too busy, too broken, too unlucky. Discipline doesn't ask if you're tired. Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. Discipline demands action no matter what. Excuses give you a way out. Discipline locks the door behind you and forces you to go through the fire. Excuses keep you soft. Discipline keeps you sharp. Excuses feed your weakness. Discipline starves it until only strength remains. Every time you choose excuses, you feed the identity of the old you, the weak you, the one who always quits. Every time you choose discipline, you vote for the new you, stronger. You, the one who refuses to back down, the one who gets it done no matter what. Discipline is not glamorous, it's not loud, it's not Instagram worthy. Discipline is boring, repetitive, relentless. It's doing the same hard thing every day, long after the motivation has burned out. While excuses keep you comfortable, discipline keeps you unshakable. Excuses whisper that you deserve rest, that you've done enough, that tomorrow is always there, but tomorrow is a liar. Tomorrow is an illusion. Discipline knows this. Discipline says, do it now, do it today, do it when it hurts, do it when it makes sense. The truth is, you can negotiate with excuses, because they'll always win. Excuses will always sound convincing. They will always sound logical, but logic doesn't build strength. Logic doesn't break limits. Only discipline does. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Without it, your goals are nothing but fantasy. You can talk all day about what you want, but if your actions are chained to excuses, you will never touch it. Discipline is the only key that unlocks the door. Excuses make you feel good for a moment, but they destroy you for a lifetime. Discipline feels brutal in the moment, but it builds you for eternity. Every scar in your body, every victory you earn, every ounce of strength you gain comes from choosing discipline over excuses. Excuses will always offer comfort. Discipline will always offer results. Which one do you want? Comfort or change? Weakness or strength? Mediocrity or greatness? Every day you get to choose, and your choice becomes who you are. When you wake up and you don't want to move, that's when discipline speaks louder than excuses. When your body aches and your mind screams, quit, that's when discipline steps forward and drags you. Discipline doesn't ask permission, it commands. Discipline is freedom. It doesn't lock you down. It sets you free from the prison of laziness, from the chains of fear, from the lies of weakness. Excuses trap you. Discipline liberates you, and the more you practice it, the freer you become. Nobody became strong by feeding their excuses. Nobody ever broke limits by giving in to weakness. But every warrior, every fighter, every relentless soul became who they are because they bowed to discipline, not comfort. Excuses are cheap. Discipline is priceless. Excuses fade. Discipline lasts. Excuses keep. Ordinary discipline makes you unstoppable. Every moment you stand at the crossroads and the decision is always yours. At the end of the day, discipline doesn't care about your feelings, it cares about your choices. You can keep listening to excuses, or you can let discipline forge you into the person you were meant to be, the one who doesn't just dream, but does. Limits are not real, they're walls your mind builds to keep you safe. But safety never made anyone strong. Every time you think you've reached your limit, you're actually standing at the doorway to a version of you that you haven't even met yet.
Your mind quits long before your body does. Your brain is designed to protect you from discomfort, so it shuts you down early. It tells you that you're done. But the truth is, you've got reserves inside you that you've never even touched. Pushing beyond limits means ignoring the signal that screams stop. It means leaning into the burn when your lungs are on fire, when your legs are shaking, when your body is begging you to collapse, because that's when growth begins. Most people tap out at 40%. They think they're done when they've barely scratched the surface. The ones who push past that point unlock energy. They never knew they had strength they never thought was possible. When you push beyond limits, you enter a space few people ever see. It's painful, it's brutal, it's raw, but it's also where you discover what you're truly capable of. It's where your mind breaks and your soul takes over. Limits aren't physical, they're mental. Once you understand that, your entire world changes. You realize that barriers are illusions built by fear, built by weakness, built by comfort, and you decide to tear them down. Every time you go further than you thought you could, you're building proof that your limits are lies. Proof that you're stronger than the voice in your head. Proof that the ceiling you thought was real doesn't even exist. Pushing beyond limits requires courage, because it hurts, it's lonely, and it demands more than you think you can give. But on the other side of that pain is freedom, the kind of freedom that only comes when you've been to war with yourself. Limits are not there to stop you, they're there to test you. They're asking a question: how bad do you want it? How far are you willing to go? How much pain are you willing to endure? The answer is written in your action, not your words. When you keep breaking limits, you become dangerous, not to others, but to the old version of yourself. The one who doubted, the one who quit, the one who settled. That version of you dies every time you step beyond the line you thought was final. The world respects those who refuse to stop when everyone else does. Because pushing past limits isn't just about you, it inspires others to see their own strength. It shows them that the impossible is just a word, not a reality. The truth is, most people never meet their true selves because they never push past the fake walls in their mind. They live and die in the cage of comfort, never knowing that their potential was waiting just outside their excuses. Limits are like doors. The harder you push, the more they crack, the more they crack, the more you see through them. Until one day you smash through and realize there was never a wall, only fear disguised as truth. Pushing beyond limits doesn't just build strength, it builds identity. Every time you go further than before, you're telling yourself, I am more, I am capable, I am relentless, and that identity becomes unshakable. You will never know who you are until you go beyond the point where you thought you'd break, because that's where the real you lives. Waiting behind the pain, waiting behind the fear, waiting beyond the limit. They let their scars dictate their identity, but your story is not locked in. Your story can be rewritten every single day. You don't have to be the person your past shaped you into. You don't have to accept the label that people gave you. You don't have to repeat the cycle that broke you. Your story, not a prison. Your choices are the pen, and you can write something new. Most people read the first chapter of their life and think the ending is already written. They say, I was born poor, I was born weak, I was born broken, so this is who I am. But that's a lie. Your beginning doesn't control your end unless you choose to let it. Rewriting your story means refusing to let yesterday own today. It means standing up even when everyone expects you to stay down. It means looking at the version of you that failed and deciding to prove that version wrong over and over again. Your story is rewritten in the dark, when you're alone, when you're tired, when you're tempted to quit. That's where the plot changes. That's where the new chapter is born. Not in the moments of comfort, but in the moments of struggle. The world may try to remind you of who you used to be, but you don't owe the world an explanation. You don't owe anyone permission to grow. You only owe yourself the fight to become the person you know you're capable of being. Rewriting your story means choosing action over excuses. It means refusing to let the pain of the past be your ceiling. It means turning scars into fuel instead of chains. Your scars are not proof of weakness. They are proof that you survived, and you're still here. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the failures you endured. You are not the voices that told you you're nothing. You are what you choose to do today. You are the grind. You are the sacrifice. The decision to keep moving forward.
Rewriting your story takes courage because it means killing off the old version of you. It means burying the identity that everyone else recognized and stepping into something unknown, something greater, something stronger. When you rewrite your story, you show others it's possible too. You show the broken kid that pain isn't the end. You show the doubter that weakness can turn into strength. You show the world that your past was just a chapter, not the whole book. Rewriting your story doesn't happen once, it happens every day. Every morning you wake up, you choose the next sentence. Every decision you make is another line. Every sacrifice is another page. Your story is built in the grind, not in the excuses. If you keep clinging to who you were, you'll never become who you're meant to be. Your story can't move forward. If you're stuck rereading the same chapter, you've got to turn the page and write something different, even if it terrifies you. Rewriting your story requires honesty. You have to look at yourself without filters, without lies, without blame, and say, this is who I've been, but it's not who I have to be. It's not who I will be. The greatest stories are not about people who had easy. They're about people who were broken and refused to stay broken. They're about people who fell and kept rising. They're about people who turned pain into purpose and weakness into power. So when you feel chained to your past, remember this: the pen is in your hands. You can keep writing this kind of story, or you can rewrite it into something legendary. The choice is yours. When it's all said and done, your life is nothing more than the sum of your choices. Every single second, you're either feeding weakness or feeding strength. You're either surrendering to fear or stepping through it. You're either making excuses or building discipline. You're either stopping at limits or smashing them. You're either clinging to your past or rewriting it. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you the identity you dream about. The world will give you pain. The world will give you fear. The world will give you obstacles, but the world can't decide who you become. Only you can. Your choices are your identity. Your actions are your story. Your struggle is your freedom. You don't have to accept the version of yourself that was handed to you. You don't have to settle for average. You don't have to stay broken. You can become whatever you choose, but it won't be easy. It won't be pretty. It won't be comfortable. It will hurt. It will break you down. It will demand everything from you. And that's the point. Because only through the struggle, only through the fight, only through the choice to keep moving, you become the person you were meant to be. So the next time you wake up and look in the mirror, remember this truth: you are not who you were yesterday. You are not who the world says you are. You are what you choose to become today and every day after this. That choice belongs to you. Nobody else. Write the story. You create the identity. You build the life. And when the world asks who you are, you'll stand tall and say with no hesitation, I am what I choose to become.